Hey everybody, my name is Curtis Jones. I do appliance repair. I've been doing it over the last 15 years. Why are you having to spend so much money in replacing appliances? Why does your refrigerator not last long? Why does your washing machine not last long? Maybe 5 years. Why are people currently buying refrigerators within the last 3 years and they're leaking, they quit working? Okay, I'm going to address those. It's called the Environmental Protection Agency, the use of energy and the laws that they have passed over the last 15 years probably, requiring the manufacturers to reduce energy and go to electronic control boards, supposedly saving us electricity. But this is what your washing machine, this is a Whirlpool, your washing machine is actually run by electronic components. It supposedly saves energy. The problem is when you have energy fluctuations, you get a thing called a surge, and it fries these little micro components. These are actually soldered in now by a robot. Humans can't really solder these little joints. So when you get a surge, your board is zapped. Most of these Whirlpools, this board new is around $300, over half the cost of a washing machine. And yeah, things like your sensor here. Now, you just need to stay in with me on why I'm doing this video. I really want to get to what's happening with the refrigerator and the refrigerant. Back about, we started putting the 134A. We went from the old good R12 and 22 back in the day. They went to 134. Your heat and air guys we're having to use an alternative. Now that has changed. So now they're going to a butane. And here's the problem. It's leaking out. It is leaking out of the system. It has like no real lubricant. The compressors are failing because there's no lubrication for the compressor. Now I know that sounds complicated, but if you do your research, I'm starting to get numerous calls where the R600 has just leaked out. It's propane. You can't charge the system like you could with 134A, and it's probably going to leak out again because it's smaller molecule. And if by any chance that line gets punctured and there's a spark, you're going to have a fire. But they say the gas can be let go into the environment, and it's less damage to the environment. 134A was reduced. So all this government mandate has caused all the change in washers, dryers, refrigerators especially, and now we're about to come to a crisis. I even saw an article that the heat and air guys can't get the butane, which is, it's not R600, it's another type. So people we're having this crisis because we can't get it, and and there's all these changes, and literally the gas and the clamps and everything are more expensive, and it's not the sealed system is not even holding up into the gas, the refrigerant they're calling it. It's really butane, it's propane. I'm trying to pass on, and here's really what I'd like people. I tell people all the time, go try to find right now, if you need a refrigerator and you go buy a new one, better have the warranty. You better get the extended warranty, because in a year and a half, this 600 in a refrigerator is going to probably leak out, or the compressor is going to fail because of lack of lubricant. And we got all kind of crap going on with the compressors. They keep changing them. Went from a standard compressor to an inverter compressor. Got computer boards, two computer boards control main control board and other boards controlling the compressor, and they fail. And you, the consumer, spent $2,000 for a French door refrigerator. A year and a half from now, you are going to be down. But if you get the extended warranty, which you may pay up to $300 for, if they can't fix it, they have to replace the unit. So you better CYA, cover your ass, and if you're buying a new one and you can't find a good old one around, you better get the extended warranty on your washing machine, your dryers, and your appliances because they're junk, basically. Now, I'm trying to be somewhat of an advocate or an activist and saying we are now in a time where the government, EPA, that agency, has been making all these changes and creating all this problem. And hopefully we might be able to write our congressmen, our senators, and maybe Uncle Donald and say, look, this is something we really need to look at. This is costing Americans millions, if not billions of dollars, and it's really affecting us. We need to go back to making appliances like we did 15, 20 years ago and get rid of this electronic crap and make they didn't cost as much to make. A timer and a control, they were very simple. This is why people don't get an appliance repair, because you don't know what this is. And people are just buying every 3 to 5 years. You're having to pull out this big refrigerator because it failed. So until we become activists, until somebody really starts stepping up and move, this is like a movement. This is a war against this junk. They could go back to making the Whirlpool washing machine, which was one of the most dependable washing machines ever made. And even the Speed Queen has now changed. The refrigerators are all changed. Every one of these are on what's called a modular, wash machines are on a modular system. Every refrigerator now has to have, refrigerator freezer has to have R600, which is, it's terrible. It leaks out. We go back to 134A and get rid of this propane stuff so we can at least service it somewhat. But until we get rid of all this electronic control, every time we have a tornado, a wind, a squirrel hits a transformer, you're likely to lose your refrigerator or your washing machine. It's going to hit a spike. They're making these, people are buying these right now, and the water pump comes on without no button push. Some component stuck, and automatically it's like a relay here. It's turning the water pump on, it's stuck. You don't even start it, replacing them. I'm going through this as a repair person, but I'm telling you the solution is to get the government, to get this now government we have that is wanting to help Americans, get rid of this junk, and let's go back to the way we made things that lasted. You want to make America great? Get rid of this Chinese electronic BS. But it's going to take a lot of Americans stopping in their busy life to realize that this I'm saying is not BS. This is that problem in their closet. That is something that you're not going to be aware until it's broke and your freezer's full of meat and the compressor failed and you only owned it for 1.5 years. You don't have a warranty. I see it every day. This is my stress, but this is also my call out to all Americans to say, I know you're not thinking about your appliance during the day, but I'm trying to say until we all start writing letters and get a little bit more information on getting rid of this, on going back to the old school, what worked, refrigerants, boards, and dependability in our home, so we're not having to replace $2,000, $1,500 refrigerators every 5 years. You shouldn't have to do that. I hope you understand. Share the video. Right now, I'm telling my customers, if you have a refrigerator go down, try to find one, an older model with 134A. Avoid R600. I know the people that are selling those, you know, they're just as frustrated. They're selling that refrigerator as brand new, and it's got R600, and 1.5 years, their customers are coming back saying, well, you sold me. See, we want to blame the person that sold it. It's not. It's the manufacturer, and it's really not Whirlpool, GE, or whatever. They're mandated by the government to put this junk in. Somebody in the EPA thinking they're going to save the environment is actually creating the mess. And it started years ago. And that's why we got the junky wash machines today. And now the refrigerators, when they change that R600, a mess. They can't contain the R600. It leaks out in a year and a half. And I've gone on enough calls to know what I'm talking about. And this whole talk may be not exciting and entertaining, but it's going to come up one day. Your refrigerator's not going to work. And if it's not a component failure, if it's the freon, the R600 has leaked out, no one's going to be able to really help you. And if they do buy the equipment to put it back in correctly, it's going to cost you $500 to $600 to repair it, which is crazy because it's probably not going to stay in the system. It's going to leak back out. It's almost like it's not going to stop leaking. It's going to have a small factory leak. 134A often had small factory leaks. A year and a half, 2 years, your system went down, but at least we could charge it. R600, too expensive to charge. And it's risky. It is propane. Sure, you can release propane in the air and not affect the environment, but propane on a spark equals fire behind your refrigerator. I hope that helps, and if you have more questions or whatever, but I need to find out if somebody is actually trying to get a class action lawsuit or legislative change in this. Maybe our heat and air guys, not just it's affecting our appliances and our heat and air. Yes, your air conditioning and heating and cooling in your home. And right now there are people, we can't even get the freon, the butane style freon, and people are sitting in hot houses because we can't get the stuff, which is probably going to leak out anyway again. Amen. Have fun. That's just my rant, but hopefully it's educational.